Welcome to the Flora podcast, a place where we help you create a life you're excited about. Good morning and welcome back to the podcast. This is a walk and talk episode, and I am drinking my coffee right with you if you are listening to this while you are having your breakfast. So good morning. Often when I'm getting ready for the day, I think about the support that I want to share with my people, any messages, anything that might be of relevance. And back in the day, I used to just go live on Facebook, and I no longer have a Facebook account. So when I get these intuitive messages that drop in, I'm going to start just creating a random podcast episode for you, and in hopes that you will receive the message if you are guided to listen to it. So today's message is about creating a clear vision for your future and the reason why. Change is the only constant, and often change throws us for a loop. Like, we're just settled into our life. It feels really good. It feels really fluid. We're in flow. We've got a routine. We've got a rhythm down. And all of a sudden, a cosmic 2x4 comes and smacks us upside the head. Or we get a curveball, or we get a plot twist. And we're like, what the actual? Like, I was just in a good groove, and something happens. Change happens. Well, then we're like, all right, well, okay, now what? I've been helping people deal with change for the last 25 years. Back in 97, when I started my business as a side hustle, I helped people declutter their basements and their attics and their spare rooms or their entire house. And one of the biggest things that would throw people for a loop or throw people off is having sudden change. Whether it was, oh my gosh, we got a new job, so we have to pack up and move, and we've been here for 20 years, or we've been in this house for 5 years, or whatever, or somebody passed away and now we have to get rid of all their stuff, or we've got to go through all of it and make sense of it all. We've got a baby coming. You know, there's all these things that happen. We're downsizing, we're upsizing, and change is the thing that throws people more times than not. But the thing is, and I've said this before, change is the only constant. That is the only thing that we can count on. And when you don't have a clear vision for your future or what you want or who you want to be, change can feel like the end of the world. Change can feel like your life is going to be over and you're like, oh, holy hell, what's going on? When you have that vision of who you want to be and that vision of what you're striving for, a plot twist, a change is just that. It's just a plot twist. It's just, oh, we're going to turn here and go visit this random destination while we're still on the road to that thing that I know that I'm getting. You know, kind of like when you're going on a road trip, you know, you're going from East Coast to West Coast, and along the way, you make pit stops, and maybe along the way, there's an ice storm. So you change your trajectory, or you change your plan to deviate around the ice storm. Or maybe there was a lot of rain and one of the roads was washed out. So you go to a detour. You're like, okay, cool. Awesome. Plot twist. We're going to go someplace else now. But you still know you're headed to the West Coast. That's why it's so important to have a vision for what you want in your life, and also a vision of who you want to be when you get there, or who you want to become along the way. Well, that's an and or. Today, this week, give yourself permission to be in that space of vision, be in that space of clarity, be in that space of curiosity, and say, where do I want to go? What do I want in my life? What type of person do I want to become in the process of creating the life that I want and desire? Who is that person? Is that person someone who gets up and journals every day? Is that person someone who gets up and the first thing that I do is text my loved ones and tell them how much I love them? Is that someone who keeps their word to themselves? Is that someone who keeps their word to others? Is that someone who does philanthropic stuff? Is that someone who volunteers every week at the library reading books? Who are you when you reach that dream life, that dream version of yourself? If you haven't done this, I would highly recommend that you do it. I talk about this in my book, The 1 Degree Shift. But get out a piece of paper and ask yourself, like, what do I want? Because that's when you know what you want, there is no other question. There is no other question. Like, what do I want? Boom. Okay, perfect. Everything you do will be geared towards that naturally, if you truly want what you say you want. So what do I want? And who do I want to become in the process of me getting that? Or who do I need to become in order to get this? This is huge. Because again, when you have that vision, think of it as a beacon, like that lighthouse. And no matter where your daily path brings you, that is your guiding light. Literally and metaphorically. That is your guiding light. That is where you know you are going to eventually end up. So all these plot twists in life, all these deviations, all these detours, they literally become just another day. Oh, cool. Another little adventure. Awesome. Let's see where this takes me. But you know you're going to eventually end up where you intend. And hopefully you also know and understand who you become or who you need to become and who you want to become along the way of receiving or doing or being or having that vision that you set out for yourself. That's why it's so important to have that vision, because no matter what happens, no matter what plot twists may come, you know what your destination is. You know that end point on your GPS. Now, I've done other podcasts about having a vision beyond the vision, so go listen to that one. I'll see if I can find the number, and I will put the direct link in the show notes. If life just keeps throwing you off and you keep feeling off kilter and you keep feeling frustrated and you're like, oh shit, like, why can't I just be on a steady course? You are. Get that vision, hold that vision, put it on a vision board. There's a reason why we have vision boards. You put that vision board up and you see it every day, and that's a reminder of where you're going and who you need to become or who you want to become in the process. I hope this serves you today. I love you. Hope your coffee is as fabulous as you are. If you want my help with this, always know that I have private sessions available. I've got single sessions. I've got packages or / programs. I've got my Align Life, Align Business. I've got my 1 Degree assessments, and I also have my single sessions. So click the links in the show notes if you're interested in working with me privately. Some people have a really challenging time figuring out what they want, and that is okay. Let me help you figure out what your beacon is, what that vision is, and also what that vision beyond the vision is. So that when you reach that vision, you have something else to strive for as well. Because often, and again, I've done a whole podcast about this, so often we reach that goal and then we're like, now what? Now what? So let me help you with that. Click the link in the show notes. Let's talk. I hope this serves you today. I love you, and I will see you in the next episode. Thank you for listening to today's podcast episode. All links mentioned are in today's show notes.